Today is Yom HaZikaron, the day that we remember over 23,000 soldiers who died defending the land of Israel and the Jewish people, as well as over 3,000 Jews who died from acts of terrorism. And while today is Yom HaZikaron, the day of remembrance, for the families of the fallen soldiers, for the mothers and the fathers of the brothers and the sisters, for the children, for those who lost their sons and daughters, every day of the year is Yom HaZikaron. They remember them and cry for them every day of their lives when their presence is missing at the Shabbat table, at the holiday tables, at life milestone occasions. They can never forget their loved ones. But we, the Jewish people, dedicate today to join them in their daily remembrance of their loved ones. We are blessed today to have the privilege to live in the land of Israel. And despite the challenges and the very, very heavy price that we have to pay to have our own homeland, the alternative, which was being at the mercy of the nations of the world for 1900 years for our protection, is obviously something that we could not live with. This week's Torah portion is Tazria Metzora, which talks about the sin of slander and negative speech. And indeed, this is what Israel suffers from at the hands of the world today, as the world constantly condemns and ostracizes and isolates Israel as a pariah nation through their evil speech, their defamation and rhetoric, the condemnations which start in the UN and reverberate throughout the world. And today, as we speak, efforts are underway once again to empower Iran to build its nuclear reactors, which are aimed towards Israel. And while the nations of the world work together in giving Iran funding and removing sanctions, Israel responded this week by saying, we have our own country today, and we have a responsibility to defend ourselves and protect our citizens, and we take that seriously. And so despite the negative speech, the slander that comes out constantly in the press, in the media, and in the capitals of the world against Israel, we know that we are blessed to live in the land of Israel, and tonight we will celebrate that privilege following Yom HaZikaron, celebrating the return to our ancestral homeland. As we remember the beautiful young sons and daughters who died defending our country, we remember the love of our country towards every one of these soldiers who are like the sons and daughters of the entire nation. One of the most beautiful stories I ever heard was about a soldier who was hitchhiking a ride home for Shabbat. And he got a ride. This Israeli took him to the local bus stop in the city he was going to. And when he got out of the car, he realized left his duffel bag full of his dirty laundry in the car that he was intending to bring home for his mother to wash and clean for him. He got a call from the driver who said, I found your duffel bag. I can return it to you. If you're going back to your army base on Sunday, I'll be heading back to work in that direction. He picked him up at the bus station, and when he dropped him off at the army base, the soldier went into the army base thinking, now I'm going to have to recycle my dirty laundry for the next few weeks till I go home on my next Shabbat visit. When he opened up his duffel bag, he found, to his surprise, that all of his clothing was washed, folded, and pressed. And on top there was a plastic bag, a Ziploc bag with cookies, homemade cookies, and a little note from the wife of this person who had given him a ride. It said, Dear Chayal, dear soldier, thank you for allowing me to be your Ima for a day. Thank you for allowing me to be your mother for a day. So to our sons and daughters, let us honor them, let us remember them, who at such a young age courageously and bravely defended our country and laid down their life for our safety and security. Let us light a candle in their memory, and more importantly, let us do a good deed, a mitzvah in their honor and in their memory. Have a meaningful Yom HaZikaron.